Ever wonder why some conversations flow smoothly while others feel disjointed? The secret lies in the invisible bridges that guide us through the twists and turns of dialogue. These bridges are known as discourse markers. Discourse markers are linguistic signposts that help steer a conversation. They are not flashy, yet they are crucial in establishing context, transitioning thoughts, and indicating the direction of a conversation. These markers can take many forms, including words, phrases, or even nonverbal cues. Let's consider some common examples. Words such as well, so, anyway, and meanwhile often serve as discourse markers. When we say, well, I think, we're signaling a personal opinion. So often introduces a conclusion or a result. Anyway helps us shift topics or return to a main point, while meanwhile transports us to a different time or place in the story. Discourse markers, as you can see, are the unsung heroes of effective communication. Now, you may ask, where do these discourse markers fit in our daily conversations? Well, let's navigate through this together. Discourse markers are like the spices in our language stew. They add flavor, guide the flow, and give our conversations a certain zest. Take, for instance, the simple word, well. How often do we start a sentence with well when we're about to disagree or offer a different perspective? Quite often, right? Well is a perfect example of a discourse marker that signals a shift in the conversation. Now let's consider another example. Ever noticed how we use so to transition from one topic to another, or to wrap up a conversation? So is a versatile discourse marker that helps us structure our thoughts and keep our conversations on track. Now let's delve a bit deeper. Have you ever pondered over the subtle differences between however and nevertheless? While both are used to introduce a contrast, however is typically used when the contrast is unexpected or surprising. Nevertheless, on the other hand, is used when the contrast is something that persists in spite of what has been said before. For instance, imagine you're talking about a movie. You could say, the plot was predictable, however, I enjoyed the performances. Here, however, is used to introduce a positive comment that contradicts the negative one about the plot. But if you were to say, the plot was predictable, nevertheless, it was a box office hit. Nevertheless signals that the movie was successful despite its predictable plot. And finally, discourse markers are also used for emphasis. Actually, literally, indeed, these are all words that we use to stress a point or to make our statements more impactful. So, discourse markers not only add color to our language, but they also provide clarity and coherence. These little words and phrases are more than just fillers. They are essential tools that help us communicate effectively and expressively. How can understanding discourse markers advance your language learning journey? Delving into the realm of discourse markers is like unlocking a secret code. For language learners, these linguistic signposts are crucial. They guide you through conversations, showing you how ideas are connected, and helping you grasp the context. They can significantly enhance your comprehension and fluency. Imagine listening to a fast-paced conversation between native speakers. Without a firm understanding of discourse markers, you may feel lost. But once you start recognizing these markers, you'll find that you can follow the conversation more easily. You'll understand the transitions, the relationships between ideas, and the subtle nuances that often get lost in translation. Moreover, using discourse markers in your own speech can help you communicate more naturally. They add rhythm and flow to your sentences, making your conversation sound more fluent and less like textbook language. Mastering discourse markers can be a game changer in your language learning expedition. To wrap up, discourse markers serve as the glue that holds our conversations together. We've explored how these linguistic signposts guide us through the twists and turns of everyday chats, like a linguistic GPS. They usher us from one idea to the next, signaling shifts in topic, expressing agreement or disagreement, or simply helping to keep the conversational ball rolling. We've also seen how discourse markers are essential tools for language learners. They're not just filler words, but pivotal elements that can dramatically enhance fluency and comprehension. They provide context, shape the way thoughts are expressed, and can even give insight into cultural nuances. So, let's not underestimate the power of these little words. They're the unsung heroes of our conversations, smoothing out awkward pauses and guiding us smoothly from one topic to the next. Next time you engage in a conversation, pay attention to these little words and notice the big difference they make. So who knew those little words could be so powerful, right?